What's up, guys? Here we are with La Bikina. Fight Talk here with Jimmy Dukes here at the Rodriguez Fight Team Gym. Great facility.
Thank you.
You guys are a little tucked over here in the back.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been out here for?
For about 9, 10 years, yeah.
It's awesome. It's cool to see where everything's built brick by brick, right?
Yeah, it was a mess in here.
Yeah.
It was a mess in here, but my parents, they fixed it up pretty nice.
Yeah, I love it. You guys got a ring, you guys got bags, you got everything you need to train in here. But, I wanted to come talk to you a little bit. You got a fight coming up, and we'll talk about that. But, how have you been since your last fight in July?
I've been great. It's been fun couple of months, just training, doing my thing. And, yeah, I've been feeling great.
Yeah, I know. I got lucky to get in ringside. Shout out to Sergio. He got me down there, and I was excited because I got to see you fight, Jorge fight Ivy, because you guys are from here, and I started following you guys more often. And I got to see you before walking out and everything. I was with my camera. I was just like, oh, damn, she is locked in. Because you're like this all the time, smiley. Yeah. And that's the first time that I got to be around you during competition. Do you have, is it easy for you to just switch that? Because you're so bubbly and fun. I've been around you like a handful of times. We've always BS or whatever, but you're always like that. And I saw you that night. I didn't bug you. I always kind of make sure that all the fighters, like I just let you guys are at work, so I don't need to be bugging you guys and shit like that. But is it easy for you to switch that on when it's go time?
Oh, definitely. I live the moment, so right before my ring walk, it's like something special to me. I just talk to myself, I lock in. And once I'm out there walking out and they're singing La Bikina,
yes.
I'm like, oh, this is my moment.
Yes.
I block everybody, and I enjoy my time.
Yeah, it's like I've seen the people say that more often. Obviously, I'm around more combat sports athletes. It's like you enjoy the moment, like you take it in. Because I remember, like you were in the back pacing back and forth, and I got you, and then I ran around to that big ass stage, and then you were walking out, and you were like smiling. I was like, damn, she's ready to go. Like it was cool to see that, because like I'm still getting to know you, and I haven't really been around you for as far as your boxing career and stuff like that. So it was cool for me to see the seriousness, the joy of you walking out there and then performing. Talk about that fight, how you felt, going there and, performing in front of the hometown here in El Paso.
It was an exciting fight. It was she was a great opponent. She signed with Keen's Promotion, so it was challenging, and especially that she has
her strategy.
Yeah, her strategy to win.
Her strategy.
Everyone has their strategies, but at the end of the day, my dad prepares me to win. And that's what I did. Yeah. I won.
Yeah, for sure. She was a great opponent, but it was for me, first of all, that was my first pro card that I've ever been, first boxing fight I've ever been to, let alone a pro, and let alone I got to be literally at the ring. And you are freaking fast, dude. Dude, the way you guys were moving, like even like when I saw Ivy fight and Jorge, and I got to talk to them on the side, like you guys are animals. Like the way you were moving in and out and tagging her, and like you were hardly getting hit. If I remember, you were hardly getting hit, but you were just tagging, scoring, and I was like, oh man, it was cool to see. Like, how does it feel knowing that you got that out of the way and you had that performance, and then all of a sudden you're back here in El Paso?
It's awesome, being able to fight again in my hometown and at the Chihuahua Stadium. I think it's a great platform there. It's gonna be cool, to be outdoors. I've never fought outdoors.
Yeah.
In the amateurs, but like in the pro event, so it's gonna be fun. When Vargas came and fought here, the junior, when he came, I went to the fights, and it was a really nice setup.
Yeah.
So I'm just imagining myself, oh my God, I'm gonna fight there too. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, I always think like venues bring a different aspect to the fight. I mean, you'll fight in a garage if you were getting
I'll fight
paid.
Anywhere,
You know what I mean? If you were getting paid and it was for when it made sense for your career, but the fact that you get to fight at the Chihuahua Stadium and such a big venue, leading up to this fight, I know obviously all fight camps are different. What's different now that you're finding your groove, you're still undefeated, 6-0-1, and how mentally how these training camps, as you keep progressing through your career, how have they been going?
You know, I feel like every training camp is different, and you learn something in each training camp, and you also grow as you're going through it, you know, because every fighter has their challenges. You know, there's not one fighter that is 100% in there. You know, we all face challenges, but I feel like it makes you stronger as a person, you know, in and out of the ring. I feel like it's continuing building character in me. So, you know, 100% prepared always.
I love hearing that kind of stuff that, you know, and I draw inspiration from all the different athletes that I get to talk to and hang out with. And you saying that kind of stuff, it's like, yeah, I'm a pro and I'm undefeated, but I'm still learning and I'm still going through things that I have to deal with on an everyday life, adulting and things that you got going in and out of the ring. Do you feel like just having like the support from your family and your gym, does that make it easier knowing that you could fall back on that support? Because not a lot of people have that support.
Oh, definitely. You know, my family's my everything to me, and everybody that around me who loves me, they're everything to me. And you know, I'm gonna give a shout out to George Tovar, because my last fight, when we were doing our interviews, he shared something with me, and because of him, if only he knew what I was going through spiritually, his words really helped me that fight. So shout out to George.
There you go. El Jaguar. Yes. I always mess that up, but that's so cool that you bring that up. And you know, you have some other local fighters, like having that. You know, we were kind of talking it a little bit without recording, but how is it to be able to lean on somebody that knows exactly what you're going through and be able to have those small conversations? Like, you know, how cool is it to have, you know, people that you can relate to like that?
I think it's really awesome, just because sometimes there's many times that as a fighter you think, why is this happening to me? Am I the only one going through this? Why do I have to go through it? But then when you hear others, you're like, oh no, I'm not the only one. Yeah. I'm not going crazy. I'm not a weenie or anything, you know what I mean? So I think it's very helpful, you know, like having even the community, the boxing community, when you talk to other fighters, you know, and they share their stories. One, I think it's very, it makes me feel like honored too, because he shared some stories with me. Yeah. You know, and another thing, it's like confining each other. Like, yes, we're in a combat sport, but it doesn't mean, yes, boxing is a lonely sport, but it doesn't mean that we're alone. Yeah. You know, it shows you that. Yeah. I love the, one of the biggest things that I grew up playing sports, and now that I've been doing jiu-jitsu for years and then being around combat sports, the camaraderie. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't understand, like, that camaraderie helps. Some people might not understand, but it helped you get through those crappy nights or those shitty sessions where you're not feeling well, or leading up to fights mentally. And, you know, Jorge, without even realizing what you're, you know, going through at the time, just said some words that he would probably say to anybody. Mm-hmm. But at that time and moment, like, that resonated to you, like, God damn, I'm ready to go tackle the world now. Thank you. No, yes. And I never had the chance to say thank you, so thank you. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, no, definitely. You know, talking with boxers in that elite level, it is very helpful, you know, because at the end of the day, like I said, right now, people say boxing is a lonely sport. Yes, it is. But at the same time, it's not, because you do have people behind you. Yeah. And with all the different things that you have to worry about in the gym and out the gym, you know, talk about having that mental fortitude to kind of take in what you can and, you know, not worry about what you can't handle. Because there's certain times that I'm sure that there's things out of your hand. Like, how do you keep sane mentally when you're just preparing for fights? So I just have the mindset of, I'm going to go kick butt and I'm going to win. Yeah. That's my mindset throughout it all. You know, I try to stick in that mentality. Once I'm in fight mode, I'm in fight mode. I don't allow nothing or no one to get in my head, because it's my moment, you know, and I just say, you know what, this is my time, you know, God's going to put me where I need to be, and things are going to happen the way it has to happen. Yeah. So I love hearing that. That's my mindset. Yeah, I love it. Go in there and kick ass. That's my job. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I can take care of. Everything else, without worry about. You know, you're still on this unbeaten streak. Do you have the pressure to keep this going, or do you ever have like times where, like, man, I want to finish a fight, but you know what I mean? Like, you've gone the distance a few times now. Does making a statement finish important to you, or is it just more like, hey, I'm only fighting 4 or 5 rounds or 6 rounds, so it's kind of hard to find a finish in that time period? Do you let
that kind of like bug you at all, or do you just more focus at the task at hand each time? It doesn't matter how you win the fight.
You know, a lot of people, you know, that are not in the boxing world, they do say, go for the knockout, go for the knockout. It's easy to say that, you know, but I do say at the end of the day, in all of my fights, you see my fights, I always make a statement.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's just about that. You know, if the knockout's there, of course I'm going to go for it. You know, of course I'm training for it. You know, in this fight, yeah, it is my goal. I want to finish the fight, you know, but I am not going to force a finish to please others. At the end of the day, when you try and please others is when you give a poor performance. That's what I think. You know, my way of pleasing others and everybody is showing them I can box.
Yeah.
I got skills.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, I think that's what matters.
Yeah. I like that, you know, I obviously follow more MMA and around more MMA guys. The rounds are shorter. One thing I did learn about somebody that told me, actually it was Sergio Ivy's dad, he was like, you know what, like everybody was like, you try to find the finish and things that I didn't think about it this way until he said it. He was like, like once you start getting your groove, three or four rounds in, like the fight's almost over.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And
so
we fight 2 minutes.
Yeah, so it's like you're gonna rush to try to find a finish and expose yourself and might get tagged. But he was saying it was interesting because it gave me a different perspective. Obviously, I always openly say I've never fought, I've never hit somebody in the face full force. I've never got hit in the face full force. So I'm never a person to say I would think this or whatever, right? But hearing him say like, yeah, I mean, if you could force the finish, it would be there. But the thing is that when the rounds extend and they're getting their groove on and now they're gonna be able to set up the traps and stuff, that's when the finish is coming. Do you feel like because of the time constraint, you're not in a rush to finish that? Once you get to 8 or 10, it's going to be like, oh, you're going to start wearing them down. Because I've seen your fight pressure. The finish is going to come, right?
Yes, absolutely. I am the kind of fighter that I progress as each round goes, you know, and I know Ivy's the same way. You know, she's in top shape, you know, so I'm the same way too. And especially that it's 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It is difficult on us.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because men fight 3 minutes, like, and us, we fight 2 minutes. I mean, it was one of the fights that I fought on DAZN when I fought Natalie Dove. It was a 3-minute fight. If I had an extra round or two,
yeah,
I believe I could finish it.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, because you watch that last round, it says it all. You know.
Yeah.
But I do say that if we had that extra minute or more rounds, we are gonna do more of the wearing down. You know? So. You know, and especially if you're getting hard opponents, like my last opponent.
It's not that easy to get a finish.
Exactly. And then my last fight, she didn't make weight. You know what I mean? And we only said, you're good with just dropping a pound. Yeah. You know, she didn't make weight. And we still accept it that way. So it's like, one, she was heavier. And so how do you expect, you know, and then she's a good fighter. Yeah. She has a good chin, you know.
Yeah, you were tagging her. I mean, like, you throw 1,000 punches and hear like nothing, but the fact that the endurance that a boxer has, that I see you guys go in there, even if it's 2 minutes, you're throwing punches for 2 minutes straight while moving around, sitting down on the stool, getting back into doing for X amount of rounds. It's awesome to see that, because like a lot of people, and I always say this too, like, you guys, like, go punch a bag for 30 seconds without stopping, and then you tell me if you feel gas, and then stop for like 30 seconds and then do it again harder for another minute or two, and then do that for 10 rounds or 3 rounds, three 2-minute rounds. You're gonna get tired. So I always give you guys props on the cardio of that. Do you feel like having that gas tank and not being able, like, you haven't even gone to empty yet, right? Because even after, like, I see you're all peppy and shit, I'm like, God damn, I'm tired just watching it. I'm just holding this damn camera. You know what I mean? Talk about your training and how it lets you have that gas tank to keep push yourself further than you need to every single time.
So, like, I train 3 minutes. I spar 3 minutes. Sometimes it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you know, and look, I'm fighting 6 rounds, and I'm sparring 10, 12 rounds. Yeah. I'm doing extra rounds that, you know, it's because of my mom. Right. This girl, the other time.
This is the hard part.
Yeah, she tells me, when you go up rounds, you're going to do like 15, 16 rounds or 20. And I'm like, God damn. What? I was like, Mom, let's not talk about that yet. Right?
Yeah, let's not get in there yet.
Yeah, but yeah, and I'm doing X's more rounds, you know. And some people, when they're preparing for a fight, they probably, in sparring, some of them I've heard they do a round or two extra.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, I'm doing 4, 5, 6 rounds extra.
Yeah, and you're like,
you know,
I feel more than prepared, you know, physically to be able to go in there and take care of business. You know, how do you feel like, now that you've been a pro for some time, how do you feel like that your style has matured since turning pro compared to like your amateur career?
You know, sometimes I look at my amateur fights and I'm like, eek. I'm like, what was good about that? Right. But, you know, I think overall, skills-wise and, you know, mentally and all that, I did mature as a fighter overall. And as each fight goes, like, you know how we're talking about the training camps, I'm maturing, I'm growing, I'm getting better. I'm seeing things like, oh, wow, like learning to plant your punches. And the pros is about planting your punches, you know, and having a constant speed and power, you know what I mean? And that's when my mom trains me. She does my strength and conditioning, so she's training my muscles to last, you know? And that's a difference that I'm seeing, that even in the working out, that I'm like, what? Like in the amateurs, I worked out, I did the strength and conditioning, but now it's like 1,000% different, you know? And yeah, and I'm seeing it skills-wise. It makes you more knowledgeable, that you see things that I'm like, oh, wow, now I understand what my dad was trying to tell me, you know? So.
You getting all those reps in, like, one thing that I've heard from fighters, too, is, like, you can't imitate, like, a real fight sometimes, like, unless, like, you're in it, and then you learn from that. Then having the right type of people around you as well, you know what I mean? You have the support and the family and, you know, your coaches and stuff. I love hearing that kind of stuff, because you even said, like, I'm still learning and I'm still getting better. The fact that you can sit, like how you were saying, look at your average, you're like, what the hell? It's like, I can only imagine, like, we have another conversation in another year. Like, Jimmy, last year, I don't even know what I was doing, man. That looked terrible. You know what I mean? Because you have to constantly always get better, because these challenges and these people that you fight, it's only harder, right?
Oh, absolutely. You can never get comfortable in the sport, and you can never underestimate no one. You know, every time I go in the ring, this is my mentality. If they're accepting the fight, it's because they believe they have a chance with me. And absolutely not. And that's what I go back to saying. You got to make a statement. You got to show them, okay, you signed a contract to fight me.
Yeah. Bad idea.
It doesn't mean, yeah, pretty much bad idea.
I'm going to let you know why this is not a good idea for you.
Yeah. And I do say you never get comfortable in the sport, you know, and yeah, you always grow, you always learn, and another thing that I learned in the pros is that you gotta learn to make adjustments. Yeah. You can have a game plan. You can be like, oh, this person throws like this, they fight like this. But it doesn't mean that they're gonna step in the ring fighting like that, because the same way that you're studying them, they're studying you. So you gotta be ready to make adjustments. And that's why when my dad's like, what's the game plan? To kick ass. Yeah. That's a game plan, to kick ass, you know? Because if you go in with like a strategy or whatever, you know, sometimes plans don't go through you, so you gotta learn to make adjustments.
Yeah, I've seen that now that I've been around even like amateur boxing and pro MMA and now pro boxing stuff. I've heard coaches, and I've been around coaches more while they're training their guys, and they say certain words or whatever, and then they go out there and do it. And I'm all looking at the coach, he's off. I'm like, I remember him saying that last week, and he just did that shit. But it's cool seeing that you're right, the adjustments, because a fight might be going one way, and you're like, all right, we need to do this. And that credits you as a fighter to listen, and you, the coach, to see a hole or something different to be able to adjust on the fly, because you're fighting another pro person, right? If they're going at you like, oh, you know, she's doing this and this, we have to adjust, and you're like, oh, now I have to adjust, kind of deal. I love hearing that, because it's like there's a lot of stuff going on other than throwing punches, right?
You gotta be, like my dad always says, you gotta be a step ahead of your opponent, you know? So just the same way that your opponent's trying to be a step ahead of you, you gotta, it's a race.
Yeah, you know? It's I always talk about like the volume of punches, but the one thing I noticed when I went to that King's promotion fight, and I was watching you guys differently, because I'm like, all right, I'm here just for fun, and I'm just going to capture what I want to capture. But I was more intrigued of how you guys were moving and how you guys were setting up traps, and like things were landing, and if that didn't land, I would hear certain words from different corners saying different things, and then they're like, yeah, do it again, and I'm like, dude, this is so crazy.
You're like, do what again?
Right? What was that? But it's awesome to see it, and I have a higher respect ever since I've been to that event. because I'm not like the biggest boxing fan, and I always had respect for boxers. But the fact that I knew people that were fighting at a professional level, at a high level, and seeing them go out there and perform, it was awesome to see, man. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so lucky. Like, I love all types of fighting. So anytime that I get to go by the ring, and especially, like, I get to know a lot of you guys, I get nervous watching you guys fight, too. I'm like, oh, damn, come on. Because I'm pulling for you guys. I mean, obviously, you guys are from El Paso. I'm rooting for you guys. And I get to know you guys because having conversations like this, I feel like a lot of people don't get to know you guys like this because we were kind of saying it earlier, like, I like to humanize you guys. You guys are regular human beings that have different things you have to take care of. And, you know, you're talking about the mental thing earlier on. And just like, there's a lot of things that you got to take care of. And a lot of people forget that. So I always feel like having these conversations, letting people know, like, hey, you're a young lady, has to do a lot of things and you know, to be able to go out there and perform and to deal with things that a normal person wouldn't have to. You know what I mean? So like I hate how people don't understand that, or they'll say certain things. I'm like, hey, hold on a second. You know what I mean? Like I can say something now that I've been around a lot of you guys, and I just feel like I always say this, I'm the gel between a lot of athletes and the people in the crowd, because I get to see the training. I get to hear the conversations that are in the back. I get to talk to you guys for different things and hear different things. And I'm like, then I go out there and I hear somebody, boo. I'm like, you know, you know what I mean? It just like, it drives me nuts. But leading up into this fight, I know that your last fight went well. You're going to be fighting at the Chihuahuas. Let's talk about what you do for local boxing, young lady. I saw you out there wearing the white shirt and the black pants.
Yes.
Refereeing. How long have you been doing that for?
2 years already, right? Yeah, 2 years, yeah.
It was fun. I saw you going up there. You were dancing, having a good time at the expo. Is that just something that you like doing on the side just to kind of help with the boxing community?
Yeah, absolutely. I just love boxing, you know, like sometimes it's funny. I tell my dad, no, Dad, I'm not going to referee, you know, it's getting close to the fight. Nelly, let's go. Yeah.
You were jokingly saying there's something after the fight or coming up soon. You're like, I'll probably do it.
Yeah, I'll probably do it. Yeah, knowing me, I always, you know, I love it. You know, it's very fun, and you see a different side of boxing. You know, like you see, like me that I was judging and refereeing, that I'm like, oh, now I understand. Yeah. And sometimes I look back at when I was in the amateurs, I feel bad for being mean to that ref. Right. Right. But I'm like, it is, you know, refereeing it's pretty hard, you know, because you have eyes everywhere. The fighter, the coaches, the parents, you know, you stop a fight. It's like, my job is to protect the fighter. You know, good thing I've gotten good compliments in refereeing, so they like me as a referee, so I'm like, okay, good. But you know, but it is, you know, it's pretty tough. You get the pressure. Yeah, for real.
I commentate some fights sometimes, and even like when there's like a stoppage or whatever, look, guys, or like a card might go a different way. I'm like, look, guys, I'm not a judge, so it's easy for me to sit here as a commentator and say whatever. But at the end of the day, the referee is in there, the judges see something different, something different. So yeah, like the fact that you kind of you're able to put yourself in that position, like you have a new respect for, like, all right.
Yeah, I'll listen.
All right. But that's cool that, you know, talk about how younger athletes are able to, you're so accessible. You know what I mean? How you're a pro fighter, somebody can walk up to you and ask you a question. Have you had instances of people, you know, pull you aside like, hey, like, and talk to you because you're at these events and you're helping out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of fighters, young fighters, they do ask me for advice. Or they're like, how did you see my fight? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, and I give them the advice, you know, and everything. Sometimes they message me, and, you know, I like helping people. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, oh, wow, like you're trusting me.
Yes.
But that you're being vulnerable with me, and you're trusting me to, you know, help you. And so it's really cool, you know, and especially like in the like officiating and refereeing aspect, you know, like it was funny 2 weeks ago, I had a meet and greet, and this kid, he came, he asked me to sign his glove, and he told me, yeah, you refereed my fight. You stopped my fight. And I was like, oh,
you should have said, well, you should have tried harder.
Yeah, no, and I was like, oh, you know, because you see so many faces. Yeah. Honestly, I don't really remember the fights
with the headgear too. Because I've had people like, hey, you have any pictures of me? I was like, well, you have headgear on, bro. I don't know what you look like.
I'm like, which ones? Yeah. And so when he told me that, I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, you know what? My job as a referee is to to protect you guys, but I was like, man, and I thought it was like crazy because I'm like, who would have thought, like someone would come up to me, you stopped my fight, and I'm like, and then the other time I was at Walmart.
Well, aren't you glad?
I was like, I was protecting you.
I was protecting you, right?
One time, it was right after the fight in July with Keens. I was at Walmart. Me and my mom went. I just finished working out. I was all, sweaty and I don't care clothing, right?
Yeah.
And it was a mom and his son, and she was like, oh my God, you're La Bikina. I was like, oh yeah, it's me. And they're like, we saw you fight last weekend. And then they were like, yeah, and you refereed my son's fight. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. I was like, well, I hope to see you in the ring again,
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, like those are little like small accomplishments for me, because it makes me feel good. I'm like, oh wow, they know me.
Well, the cool thing too is that you're able to, with your experience, you've been around boxing, you've been an amateur fighter, you can give those people those advices. So like somebody that might be listening or watching, what are some of those advices that you would tell somebody like a young athlete that's, like already good amateur and they're looking to get into pros? What are some of the things that you went through or that you can say, hey, kind of look out for this and kind of look for that for any young ladies that might be right there on the cusp of being pro?
I do say stay focused. Have your parents' support. Hold on to that. No one else is going to care for you more than your parents and your coaches. Like me, I'm thankful that I have my parents as my coaches, but they kept me in line. Of course, I'm young, and when I was in high school, of course, I had my moments of, I want to be normal. I want to do high school things, high school parties, high school, and stuff like that. I want to go out, and I just say always remain focused and always come back to your sport. At the end of the day, if you're passionate about this or anything in life, you're passionate about something, you always got to go back to it. And there's always good and bad consequences. So choose wisely, be smart, and always fight for your dreams. That's what I've always said. Fight for what you believe in, because a lot of people in the amateurs, they've told my dad, they've told me, hang up your gloves already. I've heard that so many times. I don't share it, that often because I feel like it's something negative. But
of course.
But
it's there.
Yeah, people have told me you should just hang up your gloves, and here I am.
Right. That's so wild, man. For me, I've been creating content for 6 years, doing all different types of content. I've got those in different ways. Like, why aren't you playing video games? Like, you might as well just stop. Or why are you doing podcasts? Why are you doing this combat sports stuff? I'm like, it's crazy to think, like, why do you care so much what I'm doing or not doing? This is my life. You know what I mean? It trips me out how people will go out of their way just to be negative. Like, oh yeah, go ahead and wrap them up. Like, you're probably done. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what I've had to do or not to do to be here. And for somebody to have such an easy opinion about certain things like that. So I love that you, like, a lot of the people that I gravitate toward and stuff say all those type of things, I always say that you have to have that foundation. A lot of people don't, but try to have that foundation at home or with your loved ones, your significant other or whatever, to have that foundation, because when everything else crumbles, at least the foundation is still there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I don't know how many times, having my wife, we've been together for 19 years, like I've crumbled and I've always had her to help me build back up. And a lot of people don't have that. So I always say, hey, the people that are looking out for you and trying to give you a hard time for the right reasons, those are the people that you need to have in your life.
Absolutely.
Not that, hey, don't worry about training. Let's go have a beer. Or like, let's go do this or whatever. Kind of like having those types of people, and the yes people are like the wrong type of people to have around, right?
Mm-hmm. I know, absolutely. Because those are the people that are going to hold you back. Because, and it is very true, as cheesy as it sounds, how people say you become who you hang out with.
Yeah.
No, it is very true. It is very true.
It is.
Think about it. Rich people hang out with rich people, and why do they hang? And why are they rich?
Yes.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
You hang out with the wrong crowd, you're gonna become like that.
Yeah, you're a product of your environment for sure.
Yes, and also because sometimes my dad would tell me, when you date someone, you become them. And I was like, am I myself? But no, it is very true. I'm in a healthy relationship, and because of that, it allows you to grow. Like, you're talking about your wife. You guys are growing together. When you have someone that's not meant to be in that circle, you're going to feel it and you're going to see it.
Yeah. Having, like, one of the things that I always get, everybody's like, damn, you've been with your girl for 19 years. I'm all, yeah, man, I don't know where I would have been without, You know what I mean? Having that support system and being able to push me and cheer me on or be there for different reasons, part of my life. And we're both parents. We're trying to figure that shit out still too. You know what I mean? So having that support system, I always love hearing that, because I always tell young fighters or anybody, like in life, like cherish those
moments,
relationships and things like that, because a lot of people don't have them, or some people take them for granted all the time. But with all that being said, you know, we got a fight around the corner. You know, when you're leading up to fight week, how do you contain the excitement and the nerves, or any nerves leading up to this fight?
Honestly, I don't get nerves. It's more
hurry up and get there.
Yeah, I just want it to be fight night. You know, I think this is the slowest week for me. I feel like,
the work is done.
The work is done. I'm like, I just want to fight already.
Right.
Like, I just want the fun part. This is not the fun part.
Fast forward.
Yeah. Can
I just walk out now and my music be playing?
Yes. That's the fun part. But honestly, I do say always enjoy every process. Everything, the good and the bad, because it is a memory.
Nice.
You know, and so even though I joke around saying, it's so slow, it sucks. No, I do enjoy
You wouldn't
it.
change it. Yeah, you wouldn't change it for the world. I'd say that all the time. I'm like, damn kids, man, I have to go take them to school and pick them up. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. Well, I do appreciate your time and coming out here and checking out the gym. And before we get out of here, any last words you want to shout out? Any of your fans, your supporters, anything out there?
You know, shout out to the people that have sponsored me. You know, my parents, they're the biggest people that I always give the shout out to. Because of them, I'm the woman and the boxer I am today.
That's what's up.
And all of my family, my loved ones, you know, because of them, I continue to grow as a person as well, and to my fans. And I'm very thankful for the support, all the love, the support, you know, and just keep watching me grow.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You're fighting this weekend. Bouts at the Ballpark going down October 11th. Doors open at
5:30.
5:30, fights at 6:30. If you guys are buying tickets, you have a code or anything like that?
Yes, I have a link, you know, or you can use a coupon code Rodriguez. It's all in caps.
Yeah, and I'll have that down there in the description, everything, and I'll have her Instagram so you guys go. I'm sure you can have it from there too.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna be posting every day and having the link on my stories.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure you guys go check out La Bikina. I appreciate your time. Always a pleasure getting to know you, and I'm rooting for you always in life. So thank you so much for your time. Make sure you guys keep up with us. Fight Talk with Jimmy Dukes. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, guys. We're talking to all different combat athletes, and I appreciate everybody who's supporting what I got going on with the combat sports, and having cool athletes to be like, yeah, let's talk to Jimmy. So I do appreciate your time, because a lot of people was like, damn, you get to talk to cool people. I'm like, they want to talk to me, they're cool with me, so I'll take advantage of it. So thank you for your time.
No, and thank you. We need people. A lot more people like you.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, everybody, like anybody who's ever seen me with the camera without, like, I'm just a normal guy, just like all the fighters too. So I appreciate you guys' time for hitting me up too and working with you guys in the gym. But until next time, we'll see you guys at the fights. Peace. Hey, you killed it, girl.